Hello and welcome to the Halloween special of the Bearded Gamers podcast. Today you are joined by Dan the werewolf and
Baradine, Brent and Zamadi.
What are you, a zombie?
I am the Zombie King.
The Zombie King, nice. Yeah, so I was a werewolf, teen werewolf. No, we like doing silly voices on this show, so
That's just what we're all about, really. I think,
Yeah. So any more crappy accents we can do? Anyway, so if you haven't noticed, we're doing a Halloween special today, so we're going to talk about lots of cool Halloween things.
Well, it has got Halloween coming up soon, isn't it? So,
as we record this, Halloween is like a week or so away, so
yeah.
We thought we'd do something a little bit different and talk about games with a theme.
Yep. So this theme is obviously Halloween.
Spooky games, zombie games, anything you can play at this time of year.
Which there's loads of different games this time of year. And we're going to touch on just 4 today, but there are absolutely loads.
So, what have we got coming up in the show?
Well, we're going to talk about Dead Panic. It's a great little game where you've got to sort of defend yourself in a cabin. We've got...
Against the hordes of the undead!
Yeah. And then we've got 2 little guys games, one called Zombie Dice and one called Zombie Flux.
I'm sensing a theme, but yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm the Baron. I'm the Zombie King. I mean, like,
that is true. That is true. And then we haven't got. Are we going to do?
Haven't played it in
ages. Yeah.
It
literally has been so long since I played this game as well.
And also,
I had it in my childhood.
Well, the game is actually on its 20th anniversary. And what is the game called, Dan?
Atmosfear.
Yeah, so really looking forward to talking about that one as well. That's really fun to play that one.
Excellent. So let's kick off the show with Dead Panic.
Dead Panic.
So we played earlier today, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was good fun. We only just managed to get out alive.
Actually, I'd love to rename this game the Dead Panic, the Benny Hill edition, because that's what it basically felt like playing that game. Is us running around the board going, "Oh my god, get away from those zombies!"
Yeah, it was cool fun. So, Dead Panic, if anyone isn't familiar with it, is actually a kind of a reskin of a classic game that I've had for a very long time called Castle Panic by Fireside Games, which is essentially like a sort of tower defense game where you've just got a castle in the middle and you've got hordes of sort of fantasy creatures and critters and goblins, orcs and stuff like that who get closer and closer to the castle, knocking down the wall, and if they knock down the wall and get to you, then you lose. So this is just kind of a spin on that, where instead of a castle in the middle of the board, you've got a sort of cabin in the woods-esque log, thing in the middle of the woods with hordes of zombies around you as well.
So in the castle one, is it a case of if they lose the castle, you...
Yeah, so it is. Yeah, literally, if the castle goes down, you're protecting the towers in the centre, essentially. This one, the actual cabin itself is somewhere you can more freely sort of move around, and they made this game a lot more immersive for the theme. So it kicks off with really cool walls that make up the walls of the log cabin, which are actually little cardboard pieces.
Yeah, that's what I quite like. Is like the way that they're sort of laid out, because of the cardboard pieces, that make you feel like you're actually in a little cabin. Yeah,
and it's got little card standees for the characters, and then you've got these zones, which is sort of 1 to 6 zones, and then each zone has sort of 3 sections which sort of get closer to the cabin.
Yeah, so on the outskirts you got the woods, then you got the clearing, and then you got the yard, which is around your cabin,
which is like literally outside the door. So at the start of the game, you basically spawn zombies out of this bag, which could be like your kind of classic zombie sort of character tropes. You've got crawlers.
You've got the basic ones are like your shamblers, which are like your typical Walking Dead style zombies.
Just slowly walk forward.
Yeah. Then you got creepers, and these are like the half zombies, the ones that are sort of dragging their body along the ground.
And they only move if you on a roll of a 4+, when it's their turn to move, which is quite cool.
Then you got your brutes, which are one of your hardy guys.
Massive guys. Yeah. More health.
Way more health.
I guess they were like American football players that have been turned into zombies or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's bruisers as well, which are...
they're a bit more tricky because they're quite high combat, but they also winning ties as well.
Yeah, sort of medium wounds as well, don't they? And then there's sprinters, which are the annoying ones, which
They're
just
well annoying. They're
just
the ones,
pace it towards the cabin as quickly as they can.
They're the ones like 28 days later. The ones who you're going, oh my god!
Oh man, I love
run!
that movie. Yeah, literally. When did these zombies? They all got like Nike running shoes on and shit, haven't they? Essentially. So you've got 2 actions for each character.
Yeah.
And all of the characters then, they
Which
do their
doesn't feel
thing.
like enough.
Well, we were playing it 2-player, and I think the idea, if you were playing more players, you'd obviously more actions to do more stuff before the zombies get to act. But with just the 2 of us, with 4 actions between us, it became a bit of a challenge, didn't it?
Yeah.
So your actions are sort of loot the room, sort of pick up items, hand items over, move from one space to another, use a card, which could be like, once you've looted stuff, could be shotguns, pistols and stuff to shoot zombies through the cabin windows and take them out. But that sort of didn't really happen for us, did it?
Not really.
Well, there was only 2 of us.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this cabin is stocked to the 9 with weapons. I mean, literally, you're walking around and going like, "What is the shotgun doing here?" Next to
there was loads. I think at one point your guy had like a crossbow, a shotgun, a pistol, a rifle, a machete with like tape around it and stuff. Because it was just us 2 looting all this like cool gear.
Yeah. So my guy was the delivery driver. His special skill is that whenever once a turn when he loots a room, he gets 2 cards rather than 1. He can hand 1 off. And
which came in very handy.
Well, actually, no. Well, straight away, I drew a zombie surprise attacks you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And a gun. I'm like, well.
And you went first for the turn, so you're literally like, oh, here you go. Here's a zombie for you.
I'm going to pick up this tape to tape to get my weapon with.
Oh, yeah. So that happened, and so we sort of tooled up as much as we could, hopefully before the zombies get to us. But the zombies came thick and fast.
Really, really fast. Yeah.
So once we'd done our actions, it's then like the event phase. So you draw over an event card, tells you how many zombies to grab from the bag. Yep. You roll a dice to see which zone they go into.
Which I really like, actually, because it means that like the zombies can become kind of from anywhere.
Yeah, it can be quite random, but then sometimes you just roll the same number and over again. And at one point we ended up with like 10 zombies all in the same space, which was very overwhelming. So at the start, though, you've got 1 in each zone, so you know that there's going to be something attacking the sort of cabin from around
all
there.
Directions.
And we had sort of no shooting weapons to start off with, so
this cabin, like, we've seen all the range weapons are so like in the bottom of boxes. So you open up a box, you go axe, great, awesome. Can't do anything with it at the minute unless I literally run out there and start beating on them.
Well, you can move out of the cabin, but that's probably not wise because the zombies have to take time like beating through the walls before they can actually get to you.
Well, actually, that depends on the zombie that's attacking it.
That's true, because the first zombie that actually got to our wall was the brute, who was just like, I don't give a shit about your wall, I'm just going to smash through it and be... though luckily, that turn, I discovered a chainsaw.
Yes, that's very true.
Which gives you the ability to just instant kill a zombie. So we were like, brilliant, we can take on the brute. He smashed up the wall. Okay, well done. Now you can feel the wrath of my chainsaw.
What's quite cool about the mechanics of this game is that when you draw a weapon that has... so the chainsaw only has enough fuel in it to kill 2 zombies with, essentially.
Yeah.
But what's quite cool is that at the top of the card I have a number. So for this card I had 2, so you only could do it twice. But when you use it, you turn the clock to the side, so it's clockwise, and then it has a second number. And then once you've used that second number, normally at the bottom of the card, if it's got ammo, it says you can now use this as a club, which basically means that you could use the same.
The pistols ran out of ammo. You're just gonna twat a zombie in the face with the butt of the gun.
Which I never understand with a chainsaw, because surely, like, even if you're using chainsaw,
well, how can you can't hold the chainsaw bit?
And smash them over the other side.
I guess the chain's just not going round, so you'd be like, oh, it's not going. It's just run out of petrol.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gives you the ability to still have a melee weapon if you've fired off all your pistol shots or whatever.
Yeah, damn straight.
Which is quite cool. So the actual aim of the game is to wait. You've got to hold out in the cabin long enough for your sort of buddies, your survivors who you've sent off to get a radio. And there's 3 of them who have each got a piece of the radio.
So what happened was that 3 brothers went off to go and get a radio. They got in a bit of a fight. And all 3 of them ran off with a separate piece of the radio.
They're like, no, I want the radio. Like, why is it in 3 pieces? Why can't they just get one radio? Why? Doesn't make any sense. But for the purposes of the game, obviously, it's cool. Once you've got those 3 pieces, you then can use the radio to call the van for rescue pickup, basically. And then that appears at one of the random zones, and then you will have to leg it to the van.
Yeah. But as your survivors are running towards the cabin, they will get attacked by zombies. So what happens is they arrive on the board, other zombies arrive on a board as well, and they'll move first, and then the zombies get to move. But the zombies are in a space with a survivor.
They just attack each other.
They will attack them, yeah.
So the first guy that we found, we were like, "Hey, dude, we're here! The cabin's here! Quick, run!" And we're like, quick, there's a shit ton of zombies behind you. And he got bundled.
Yeah.
And literally died outside the door.
And then you flip the token over and he becomes a zombie.
Yeah, brilliant. So then he was clawing at the door trying to get in. So whenever the zombies move to the actual cabin wall, they do what's called a crack. They put cracks in it, and you put like a little cardboard piece over the top of the wall just to sort of denote that it's been cracked. Yep. And then the next zombie that attacks it will then break the wall down.
Yeah.
But that happened fairly quickly. I don't know who built this log cabin, but they didn't do a very good job because these walls just were like paper. They just fell down instantly.
Maybe we employed 3 little piggies.
Quite possibly. This house
They're
just
like,
got
hey,
blown down.
We can build this house. We were very, very good at this.
So the complete wall section were gone by like the fourth round, I think. So we had no walls.
Your actions, you can actually repair cracks in walls, but they just get obliterated way too
there's also one of the cards that you can loot is like a hammer and a nails.
Yeah,
so you can keep it, use the hammer and nails to like erect a wall again, but then you then flip the card so it becomes just the hammer. So you've essentially lost the nails, but you can still use it as a melee weapon.
Yeah,
which is quite cool.
That is quite sweet.
So we got to a point where all of the walls were knocked down.
Well, very, very
there was
quickly,
all zombies on one side, which were chasing you around, weren't they? The last 2 survivors then sort of shoe up on one side, one on the other, one near sort of me. So I decided to erect a wall so the zombies couldn't see me, and they all went after you.
Well, by this point in the game, like there was, I think basically all the zombies in the bag were out.
Yeah.
Running around the cabin, and also like it just happened to be very thematically, just very lucky, I suppose. Whenever a survivor turned up, there seemed to be a bunch of zombies behind him, as though that guy was literally like
pacing
away from a bunch of zombies. And in one case, there was one guy who came on with 2 sprinters behind him. It's like, oh my god, I'm never going to get away from these guys.
Just imagine that. But they both made it to the cabin.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was like kitted up with dueling pistols.
Yeah.
So I managed to shoot a lot and keep him safe till he got to the cabin.
I had my amazing machete, which could instant kill any zombies on a roll of a 10+.
Yeah, because when you're doing your zombie fighting, you're basically rolling 2 dice and you have to beat their fight value, as it were. Most of which are 7, so it's like an average roll.
Yeah.
But you can get items which sort of buff that quite a bit, which is quite cool. So we managed to get the 2 pieces. Well, I got 1. You had, I think, another 2.
I had 1 as well. But this is where you erected your wall. So you erected your wall, and I ran around the other side to get the other piece. So then you were one side of the board, behind a lovely little cabin wall.
Yeah, this is where the kind of Benny Hill music comes in.
Yeah.
We're literally running around the cabin, you trying to pick up the pieces, me trying to sort of distract the zombies whilst you do that.
Yeah.
For you to get back to me,
so
we can construct the radio, call for the van, and then that.
And hope it turns up.
I hope it turns up in the right place. That was when about 2 more brutes decided to show up.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this, I'm getting in the van. And I was like, leave you by yourself.
Also, like, we had a kind of role reversal, because, like, so when Dan built this wall, all the zombies were inside the cabin. It's almost as if, like, a role reversal. All these zombies going like, oh my god, all the survivors are after us. Like, we were inside the cabin, man. Build the walls.
We were on the outside, they were on the inside. I don't think that's the point. But it was quite funny. So, we managed to kill a couple of zombies, which was enough to get us to the van. But at this point, I think all of the zombie tokens were on the board, all pointing towards us, about to get us. But we had enough actions just to finish it off and actually escape in the van to secure us victory by the skin of our teeth.
That was a really, really fun game, actually. And what I like about it is that there's no miniatures of the game, but the card stocks are really, really good, and the art on the cards is
it's nice,
really, really good.
Yeah,
gotta say.
It's amazing, but it's certainly good. One thing that is quite cool is they've added in a mechanic. So you do suffer wounds if you I actually managed to go unscathed the whole thing. But if you fight a zombie and you fail, you take a wound, or you can discard one of your melee weapons that you were using in the fight.
Which is a really hard decision.
Yeah, because you were using the machete a lot, which had the ability to instant kill things.
Yeah.
So if you then lost a wound, you then have to choose: do I discard the machete that's actually really good to avoid the wound, or just take the hit?
Yeah, so quite early on, I drew this tape grip stuff, which basically means that I get +1 to my dice roll, and
you attach it to a weapon.
You attach to a weapon. Now, looking back on it, I should have really attached it to the crowbar, because the crowbar had the ability to re-roll. So, theoretically speaking, maybe that would be better.
So your thought was, I'll attach it to the
machete.
So that 10 then becomes a 9 that I need to instant kill things. But 9 is still quite high to roll on the dice, isn't it?
But I was kind of thinking, like, we can do this. I can roll 9+.
Yeah.
How hard is it?
It worked a few times.
Yeah.
A few times. So if you suffer enough injuries that you die, you actually become a zombie.
Okay.
So at that point, I mean, it didn't happen in our game, but you flip over your character card.
Yeah.
And then it has a series of like actions that you can perform. So then you put your token becomes like one of the zombie tokens, which have got quite a cool. They've got a triangular shape, and the idea is that you turn the triangle different ways each time they take damage.
Yep.
So they can have a maximum of 3 health, obviously.
Yeah.
But the triangle dictates that. But you just rotate it to show their health.
Yeah.
And at that point, like obviously, you'd be a zombie trying to thwart the other players to win for the zombies. It's kind of cool that they put that in the game and you're not just out.
Yeah.
It's just not like a player elimination thing.
Yeah, so I suppose in a way it just adds like another element to it. Because like in some games where you have elimination, and in a zombie-based game, you've kind of got to have elimination in it, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot of games have that, yeah.
Yeah.
You think about Zombie Side that we played. If you die in that, you're out. That's it.
But I suppose this gives you a role to play, which is kind of nice.
Which is cool.
If you are flipping sides and fighting against the people you were once with.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way it looks. The actual cabin construction looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's a fairly simple series of components, but it works quite well. So I would definitely recommend Dead Panic. It's not a long game.
No.
It doesn't take forever. It's really cool for, at Halloween party you want to play something co-op with the chance of someone becoming a zombie. It's quite cool. Throws that in there. Or you could even set it up so some people start as zombies, maybe.
You could do,
That'd be quite interesting.
Well, as in, like, they're in the bag, and then when they get drawn out of the bag,
Maybe they've been bitten.
Yeah.
And they've not told to the rest of the survivors. So you just put their zombie token in the bag.
Yeah.
And then when you draw their zombie token, there's that's it. The bite has gone out of control and they've become one of the living dead.
So you start in the cabin with...
So you start as a survivor, but you've been bitten at the start.
Yeah.
You on a previous exhibition, you've been bitten. So it's taking time for the bite to take over your body.
Yeah, I quite like that idea, actually. Yeah,
that could be good fun. But there's loads of ways to mod the game. And the actual instructions do have a series of difficulties, a series of like...
Well, we found the difficulties here, and you just play with 2 people. I mean,
but we still won. It was a challenge, but we did still win.
Our cabin was no more.
The cabin was destroyed. But yeah, good fun game. Definitely a good one to get out this time of year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Right, so let's go back to a feature that we started a couple of episodes ago called The Little Guys. The Little Guys.
So what's the idea of the Little Guys then, Dan?
Games that you can play at the start of a night. So small games, pocket-sized games, mostly sort of card, dice-based games that are quite good to kick off the start of a game.
What's those sort of games that you can kind of play in like 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, ones that don't take too long.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple, ones that are Halloween-y themed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Halloween-y.
Or kind of zombie themed, actually.
Yeah, or zombie themed. Yeah, it's quite. Yeah, basically this episode's all zombies, isn't it? So the first one we're going to talk about is Zombie Dice.
Zombie Dice. Now, this is the game I haven't actually really... I've heard about it a lot, because you see it a lot. It's one of these ones when you go into shops, they will have, like, little card games at the front there. It normally tends to be around that section a lot of times.
Yeah, and this one is actually a Steve Jackson game as well, so by the
Munchkin fame.
Yeah, Steve Jackson of Munchkin fame, and obviously a previous GW employee, worked on some of their games. So it's a nice, light, simple, quick and easy game with a zombie theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, this one, Zombie Dice, is a game played with dice. Surprise. The idea of the game...
Is it? What?
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Dice?
Whoa, hold the phone. So what you do is you draw 3 dice at random out of the dice box. And
sort of can tub thing.
Yeah. And you roll those. And on each dice, you got there's 3 symbols. You got brains.
Brains.
You've got feet.
Sorry.
You right there? Am I going to
just clearing my throat.
Yeah, so you got brains. You got feet, which is when people run away, and you got shotguns.
So the idea is the dice actually represent people. Okay, so you're actually zombies trying to eat as many brains as you can.
Yeah.
It's basically who can get the fullest stomach the quickest. So it's the first to eat or consume 13 human fleshy brains wins the game.
Yep.
And obviously you need to roll the brains to actually get them. And there's also 3 tiers of dice. Green, yellow, and red.
So green are your more easy humans, so they're more easy to roll.
Yeah, they're kind of like your grannies, your old ladies, sort of aren't the speediest people.
So they have more brains on their dice. Yellow would be your average Joes.
Yeah.
And then your red...
Next door neighbour, that kind of thing.
Your reds will be like your Ricks and your Carls.
Don't know about Carl. But yeah, they're kind of like the harder humans to kill, to consume. They've got basically less brains on and more shotgun blasts. So the idea is you roll your dice, the 3 that you picked at random, which could be either green, yellow or red. If you get a brain, great, put that to one side. You have consumed that human.
You scored yourself a shiny point.
If you roll the feet, or the little footprints, that means that human is scarpered off into the distance. And if you roll the shotgun blast, they've decided to shoot you in the face.
What about the feet one though? Is that the feet look like their little clown feet?
Well,
so
they're quite elongated. Yeah. Either clown feet or just really long exclamation marks.
Yeah.
Either way, it represents them running away.
Maybe it's a zombie going, I don't understand.
And the shotgun blast, if you roll 3 of these, you're dead. So you're essentially out for the round. So any brains that you did score are gone.
Yeah.
So it's like a push your luck kind of thing.
Yeah. So what you do, you roll your dice, you put your brains to one side and you put your shotgun shells to the other and your feet stay in the middle.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't got
3 dice
in the middle, you redraw until you got 3 dice and you roll again. And like Dan says, push your luck. So do you want to keep rolling dice to get more brains? You know, how many shotgun shells you got? 1, 2? If you got 2, is it really worth it?
Yeah. Also got to think about how many green dice there are, how many yellow dice there are, how many red dice there are. You kind of play the odds a little bit, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
But we had a little go earlier on, just to sort of preempt another game, and it turns out I'm not very good at rolling dice.
Apparently your zombie skills aren't like very good.
Well, either I'm not very good at rolling dice, or my guy maybe my zombie is some sort of thicko. He doesn't know where the brains are on a human. But yeah, it didn't go too well. And he actually won fairly easy.
Just a creeper just crawling on the ground.
I think that's it.
And I was just playing a brute kind of guy, just goes up to you and goes, come here.
Or maybe I was just trying to push my luck too much. Right? But I wasn't rolling a lot of brains.
No.
When I got to 2 shotguns, I thought, well, what's the chances? Do I get shot again? Do I not? Let's risk it for a biscuit. I think maybe you just played it a bit more safe.
I was just lucky. I mean, it is a dice-based game, so it's typically quite a lot of luck. There is obviously a little bit of like skill in the fact that, like I said, do you push your luck? Do you not push your luck? But
yeah, I mean, as far as dice-based games go, it's fairly simple.
Yeah,
but I quite enjoy it.
It's kind of a cheap game as well, which makes it.
It's not expensive at all.
This is, and like you said, with these little games, these aren't going to be like the game that you play for the evening. This is going to be like your warm-up.
Yeah, but it's quite good about this one is you could rock this out in a pub quite easily.
Yeah.
Or if you're waiting for your food to come, you've ordered in a restaurant or something. Yeah. Then I would get this out.
Yeah.
I mean they're quite chunky dice as well. I can imagine just annoying people just by rolling dice on the table. But it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Not too much to say about this game other than just a little bit of fun particularly for a zombie themed party or sort of board game night, really,
or a Halloween night.
Yeah. So that was Zombie Dice, Steve Jackson Games.
Yep.
Pick it up really cheap and easy and quick, and it's good to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So that brings us on to our second little guy game
called Zombie Flux.
Zombie Flux.
This is a skin, isn't it, of a game called Flux, from what I understand.
Yeah. So this is another game that's kind of similar to Munchkin in a way that it's kind of got a formula for a game that works, and
Yeah.
you can literally slap any theme on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it works.
Yeah.
This one obviously being zombie themed, but there are tons of them. I've got a few, just like I've got a few of the Munchkin. But if you collect all of them, like we said with Munchkin, that is your game collection.
So with Munchkin, you can combine different sets to create different games. So you with
That's true. Like we did Space Pirates.
Yeah.
Are you asking if we could do that with Flux?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Possibly. I haven't really looked at the instructions.
I mean, from what I can gather from the game, that wouldn't be too impossible, would it? Because the
No.
game kind of like the kind of wacky nature of Flux is the fact that the game kind of changes.
Yeah, the rules are always in flux. That's
Yeah.
it. The only thing with combining other sets is that the goals are quite specific, and they ask for cards from specific sets.
Right.
So I think if you did combine multiple sets, you'd be playing for an awful long time because the chances of those cards coming up would be exponentially rarer.
And when they say the game is in flux, I mean it can rapidly change. I mean, some of the cards I had in my hand were just like, my God, we are going completely
change the game completely. I mean, that's the whole point of it. So there's a basic rules card, which is in play at the start, which simply says draw one, play one.
Yep.
It's all just cards in this game. So you've got rule cards, action cards, keeper cards, and in this one you've got creeper cards, which represent the zombies. And there are also goal cards. So the actual win condition is not determined at the start of the game.
Yep.
You don't know what it is until you're sort of halfway through, or playing the game. So you get 3 cards at the start, and then each player has their turn, and they draw 1 card and play 1 turn. Now, because you're constantly drawing new cards, you could be getting new rules. You could be getting new goals. So in which case you can play a new goal. You can a keeper is normally items.
Yeah.
You play in front of you, and then the rules just change the rules in some way.
Yeah, so also your keepers tend to be your end goals. So there'll be cars, gasoline, saying there might be a goal card which says, hey, if you got car and gasoline, you win. So these are things you put in front of you to actually win the game, and you just try and change the rules in order to suit the items you got in front of you, or maybe in the cards you got in your hand. But even they can completely change. I had 1 action card which meant that I discard my entire hand and draw an entirely new hand containing the same amount of cards I've already got. Yeah,
it started off a bit slow. Obviously just draw 1, play 1. But soon enough you played draw 3 card.
Yeah.
So every time you were drawing 3 cards and then playing 1 card.
Yeah.
So which changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I got a shit ton of zombies in front of me. So whenever you draw a creeper card, you have to instantly play it, and it becomes a zombie in front of you.
Yeah.
And in all of the goal cards, the condition is you have certain combination of items and no zombies in front of you.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of different sort of zombie cards you've got as well. So not only have you got just sort of generic zombies that just stop you winning the game, but you also got like a pair of zombies, a trio of zombies, and there are certain weapons and items which allow you to kill zombies. Some of them just get discarded.
Yep.
Some of them actually move around the board.
Yeah, so I think that's the what the running zombies, the trio of zombies. So when you kill them, they get passed. They don't die. They get passed on.
They just move to the next player.
Yeah, and like I said before, the win conditions tend to be that if you've got a zombie, you can't win unless you've got zombies. There is actually a goal card that says that you can win.
Zombies.
No zombies. Sorry. There is actually a goal card that says that it doesn't matter, you got zombies or not. But there's a zombie called Larry, which actually says that
the artwork on these cards is really cool as well. There's just a weird kind of stylized drawing in, but Larry is a specific zombie.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. Maybe it's based on
Larry. What are you on about?
Well, yeah, I know, but maybe it's like the designers. I don't know. Maybe he's got a mate called Larry who's like super annoying or something. Basically, this just doesn't allow you to win the game under any circumstances. Yeah. So Larry, you can't win if you have this card, even if the rules or the goal currently allow for victory, even if you have zombies. But every time the goal changes, Larry decides to move to someone else.
Yep.
So if you're playing with a lot of players, I imagine that could be quite cool.
Yeah.
We were just playing with the 2 of us, so it was like we were walking down the street, and there's this zombie like, "Oh, I love you, Brent. I love you, Brent. Oh no, I'm going to go after him now. I'm going after Dan. Dan, come back. What are your brains?" He was super annoying.
He was well annoying, yeah. Because I ended up having Larry at the end there.
You did, but there was another card which, like the rule cards, which change it up quite a lot. So, like weapon bonuses, you can change your hand limit, and we had one which was like zombie hunting season.
Yep.
Which meant that you could, every round you were killing off zombies in front of you. So at one point I had literally tons of zombies in front of me, and it wasn't until like this card came around that I was like, brilliant, now I can actually start taking these out.
Yep.
Although I had a couple of action cards which allowed me to just sort of shoo them to you.
It's also quite cool is that it's one of those games that, because the game is constantly in flux, you can sit there and go like, right, I've done my turn, I've got a card in my hand, I'm just going to play this card and I'm going to win. Because that happened to me on the turn to last turn, where basically I had the win condition in my hand, and all you need to do, that's it. I had the win condition that said that if you got these two friends,
you had to have two friends. Oh,
I had two friends, and but I had a zombie. But then I had a card in my hand that says that zombies don't matter. I thought, great.
So you thought, basically, the game does this. It's like a little bit of false hope. You're like, oh, I've got a win condition in my hand. All I need to do is it just needs to come around to my turn, and I've won. And that's what you were thinking. You were like, yeah, got this in the bag.
All I need to do is the other players not to do anything. Just let me have my turn again. And
unfortunately, that's not how games works, is it? So I, at that point, I had a card which was like play all of the cards. So it was a new rule which said you could play all of your cards. So at that point I had maybe about 12, 13 cards in my hand. So you've got to really think about the order in which you play cards in this. So I'd played the play all cards, so then I had to think, right, what order do I play the rest of the cards in so I can achieve victory? And I could do it without actually having to play all of them, but playing whatever the rule that was in before, play two, was not enough. So I could move a keeper from you to me, change the goal condition to what I needed it to be. I still had the one zombie in there, so I needed to play another card which would allow me to kill zombies. And it just happened that all of those sort of things worked out, and I had the right combination of cards to manipulate the board to how I needed it to be to win.
What was your goal at the end? You had to have zombies and coffee, wasn't it?
I had to have
brains and coffee.
Brains and coffee. It was I can't remember what the goal was actually called. Yeah, it was actually called Food for Thought. So all the cards have like quite cool names in that regard. So that allowed me to kind of steal the win from out of you, because at that point you thought you'd had it in the bag.
Yeah, well, I did. I had it in the bag. Yeah.
Well, you didn't, because I still had my turn to play.
Well, yeah, to give you so there's other goals called provisions, which require you to have coffee and sandwiches.
So many cool ones.
There's one called brunch, which is if you have a donut and sandwiches. So, the cards, much like Munchkin, it kind of plays on that sort of on an narrative that has like a funny little twist on it as well.
Yeah, like a humorous twist to it. So,
but also has there's a game where it's not it's not the kind of game where you're gonna sort of strategize and go, right, this is the combo of cards I need. It's like, because the game is always in flux.
Yeah. By its namesake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually had good fun playing this game, and I think it'd be quite good to play with more people.
Yeah.
Although it would make it obviously a little bit more longer, a bit more complicated. You've got to probably think a lot more about what cards you're playing and what new rules you're actually going to throw in.
It also adds in a whole nother layer of change as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're having to play all your cards out of your hand, and you've all got big hands at that point because you've been drawing lots of cards prior to it.
Yeah, I mean, it could get to a point where you've got play all, and it actually screws you up a bit, because you're having to do, like, there are some action cards which is like swap hands with the player to your left, or discard so many cards but draw less. And
I had one which basically it got rid of all the rule cards completely, just got rid of all of them. And just,
but you didn't manage to play that.
No, I didn't.
And you've got to think as well, when you're drawing cards, so that card that you played, which allowed you to discard your entire hand and then draw the same amount of cards, that's not always a good thing, because you could be drawing those zombie creeper cards.
True.
Which is exactly what happened, and didn't allow you to win the game.
But actually, the thing is, so at the start of the game, I actually had one which was if you've got the car and gasoline, then you win. But you had the gasoline.
You had the car for
I
ages.
had the car, and I was sat in the car going, "Oh, is this one that gasoline?" And I can
But I
win
had
this.
the gasoline, didn't I?
I know exactly. But
So
I was sat there-
no. Then you played that card, which was basically take all of the zombies and all of the items
Yeah.
in play,
Yeah.
shuffle them all together, and then
Yeah.
redistribute them. And I had a ton of zombies at that point.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, if I just get the gasoline."
That's all I wanted.
And then,
one car.
but what happened?
Well, I got all the zombies,
So all the zombies went in front of you.
so that worked a treat.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was good fun.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's loads of different versions of this game. So I've got the original, which is kind of doesn't really have a theme. It's like you just need, like, the goals are really weird. Like you need pots and pans or just random stuff. You need a TV and a fridge.
So actually,
Electrical goods or
the
something.
reskinned version of zombies is probably better because it has a theme to it, I suppose.
Well, I don't mind. We talked a lot about these games that do have that kind of reskin, or that they can slap a different theme on them. I don't mind that in some games. I enjoy Munchkin, I enjoy Flux, but I want the games, when they bring out a new theme, a different theme, I want them to add something new to the game, like a new mechanic, something different.
Yeah.
With this game, it was the bad creepers. It was the fact that the zombies were in front of you. And there is actually this rules as well, that as well as goal cards, there's an ungoal. And if that ungoal comes into play and the conditions are met by that ungoal, then everybody loses and the zombies win.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool.
Yeah.
So I've got Star Flux, which is all based on,
Star Wars?
just like, no, not just Star Wars, but all sorts of different sci-fi shows. It's got references to Star Trek, Star Wars, Aliens, all that kind of stuff. Firefly. There's actually a Firefly Flux as well.
Well, maybe we can do an episode called like Reskin Me, where we talk about games that have been like redone, and maybe talk about the changes that they've actually played, if they've actually changed anything.
Yeah, because sometimes I think games do that.
Or just reskin it and just
they reskin it and just put a different theme on it, and it turns out to be exactly the same game. And you're like, you just tried to sell me something the same and just wasted my money, which is annoying sometimes. But Flux, I think, does add something different. I mean, I've not played all of them, but most of the ones that I have played have added a new element to the game that have made it quite exciting. And when it's a game like Flux, which is only like a £10, you're not that fussed, are you? But if it was a game that was more expensive, I'd be more peeved.
No, but I've got to say, this one is actually really, really fun to play. Definitely. I'd give it a go.
Excellent.
So,
So,
like Dan said, it's only a £10 one, so it really does fit into the little guy sort of theme.
yeah, and the box is so small, you can fit it in your pocket.
This one
only-
you can fit in your pocket, yeah. Zombie Dice you can't fit in your pocket because it's a little round tube. And this you got those...
You just have to have big pockets. If you were
those big
wearing
combat
clown trousers,
Yeah.
then you'd be fine.
Or you're in the army.
Yeah, combats with all those. To be fair, that's what we should always wear, combats, and I can literally go everywhere carrying about 15 of these different little guy games on me. So I'm tooled up.
You go through security just emptying out all your card games.
Anyone want to play a game? Excellent.
got
So
one.
that's the little guys.
Yep.
So we're going to come on to something I've been quite excited about, because we mentioned it about doing a Halloween special before, and we're like, oh, what could we play for? Haven't played it in ages.
I think this one kind of does actually fit into haven't played it in ages.
Oh my god, yeah. So, haven't played it in ages.
And so the game so the game we're going to be talking about is called Atmosfear.
Atmosfear.
So this is the 20th anniversary?
Well, it's the 20th anniversary edition of the game. I don't think it's actually the 20th anniversary at the moment. However, this game is really damn old. So,
because the original copy came out on
VHS. So it came with a video. I remember, like, when I was a lot younger, there was a phase where board games that were coming out it was all about video, like VHS, like, games that were sort of enhanced by having this, this video play as you were playing. So I remember having the Star Wars one, which had like Vader, but I also remember that whoever they got to do the voice of Vader was shockingly bad. Like, literally, he sounded so shit. But Atmosphere was a game that I had when I must have been like 12, 13.
Right.
So yeah, it was an old, horrible VHS.
I'm assuming that this one, because it's got a DVD, there's certain things you could do on the DVD player that you can't do in a VHS.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
There's certain options that came. So when we get into it, we'll talk about it. But there are certain options that came up on it, which I thought you wouldn't be able to do that on a VHS.
No. On a VHS, the game would be the same every time. But I think DVD has the ability to sort of reference sort of video files on a disc, so it can play different things at different times. Whereas a VHS is. There's probably people listening to this who don't know what VHS is. Damn you youngsters. I've still actually got some VHS, but I lost the game. I don't know what happened to it.
Right.
So I had it, like I say, when I was younger, but it sort of disappeared into the ether. Like Jumanji, it just like disappeared.
I've got to say that the graphics on the DVD, I mean, they have obviously updated it.
Well, yeah, but this actual edition still came out quite a while ago, but now it still looks quite dated.
Yeah, it does. It makes you feel like you're playing like a 90s sort of video.
But I think that's part of the nostalgia of it, because a lot of people have memories of playing the game when it first come out.
Yeah.
They changed the guy, whatever the actor who originally played the guy on the video.
Right.
He was more like a human, and then over the course of the game, he became sort of more zombie-esque. Whereas the actor in this, they've given like full like zombie makeup, and he's like this crazy like disturbing guy. But that games with a video aspect to them, I think are really good fun.
Yeah.
We talked, last time about Escape the Zombie City and London Dread, which, the experience of having a soundtrack or a video element to it really enhanced the atmosphere of the game. And, this game's called Atmosfear.
Yeah. But also, this falls into our real-time game. So this one, it's 50 minutes to an hour?
50 minutes. I think you have on a timer, and you've got to complete the game within the 50 minutes to win.
Yeah.
So you're obviously going to need a DVD player to actually play the game.
Yeah, so you can find your old DVD players looking around.
I literally took one out of the garage, because in the games room I just have the TV with YouTube on. Although to be fair, someone's probably uploaded it onto YouTube, but it wouldn't have all the extra features
on it as well. So it's pretty easy to set up. You've got just got a board,
big board in the middle, which has got loads of gravestones around the edge.
Yeah, for you to move around onto.
Different zones represent like the different realms of this Halloween-inspired, areas.
So there's 6 realms, and with 6 different colours.
Yeah, you've got yellow, which is Cthulhu the mummy.
You got blue, which is
Garvadan the werewolf.
Red,
which is the Countess Elizabeth Bathory, the vampire.
Orange.
What is orange?
Pumpkin dude.
It's a little pumpkin, so I don't know, like pumpkin head, pumpkin king dude. I don't know.
You've got the Baron in green.
The Baron Zamdi,
and
the zombie. Although for some reason his like pawn piece is like a leprechaun's hat.
I thought it looked like the Mad Hatter.
It's like a big green hat. I don't know. It looks Irish to me.
And then purple,
which is a poltergeist.
Yeah, but why is poltergeist like a little girl? I don't like
poltergeists are always little girls.
What? Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's inspired by the Poltergeist movie, which has the little girl who gets taken by the poltergeists.
That's true.
But it looks scary. So you pick your character. You set your pawn up on your zone.
Yep.
The other thing that you have to do as part of the setup is there is a cool little locked casket kind of pot kind of thing. I mean, it's just a plastic pot, but it looks quite cool. It's like got a really nice 3D design on it.
They didn't provide a sort of stone.
No, I want a stone ceramic pot. No, this has got like skeletons and shit on it. Like it's got a big lock on the top, and you have to write down as part of the game. You have to write down your worst fear. Mm-hmm. Screw it up and then pop it inside the well of souls or whatever it's called. So you put kittens in because you're no, you're not actually supposed to reveal it to each other because it becomes part of the end game. Mm-hmm. You're not scared of kittens. No. The other thing you've got is the 2 decks of cards that you set up, which is time and fate.
Right. So fate are the so on the outskirts of the board there's little skulls, and every time you land on a little skull, you can pick up a fate card, and you have to do what it says on the card straight away. So, for instance, one of them says, return a key. All players must return 1 green key to the board. If you do not have a green key, you must miss 2 turns.
Yeah, it's quite a simple game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not overly complicated, but they do have some the game does change very kind of quickly. On
some
dime,
good
almost.
fun mechanics in there.
Yeah.
So the fate cards can screw things up, essentially change fate.
Or they can be beneficial because I think one of them actually gets you out of black holes.
Yeah.
Which is very, very helpful.
Yeah, we'll come to that. The other deck of cards is time cards.
Yeah, so these ones actually, so when you draw them, they'll have a time on them. So, for instance, this one is 9:50.
So at 9 minutes and 50 seconds, you get to activate the card.
Yeah. As they put the DVD in, they'll have spooky music. You have your character come up. What is he called? The gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper.
So the gatekeeper will do his chat away, but once he goes away, the time will actually appear up there. So it's very easy to tell.
So you can only play the game when the gatekeeper's not on the screen.
Yeah. When he comes up on screen, you've got to stop what you're doing, listen to what he does, and follow his instructions.
Which are hilarious.
Most times. So, for instance, I just draw a random card here. It says so at 9:50. Wait for your turn and take 3 free turns.
Yeah, so you get a load of free turns for free.
Yeah,
which is quite cool.
Yeah.
So you've got your fate, you've got your time cards, you've got your pieces set up, you've got your worst fear in the Well of Souls.
Yep.
And then the other main component of the game is these keys.
Yep.
So the actual win condition is you've got to get one key from each realm, which unlocks the Well of Souls, and if you then pull out your greatest fear, you win. You've dominated your fear and you've beaten the gatekeeper, and you've got to do it within that 50 minutes.
Which sounds easy, but it's not. It's not.
It does sound easy. It's essentially it is a roll and move game.
Yeah,
it's kind of basic, but
what I like about this game,
had huge fun playing this.
Actually changed this. It's like your traditional games like Monopoly, like you roll 2 dice. You always roll 2 dice. Or like Snakes and Ladders, like you always roll 1 dice. This one, you've got 2 dice.
Well, we are really taking it back to basics here.
I know, but like in those games, you roll 2 dice. You have to roll 2 dice, or you roll 1 dice. You have to roll 1 dice. This one, you can choose roll 2 or 1, which adds a certain tactical ability. I mean, I know it's all random, but you still have like a certain
you can move slowly or quickly around the board, I guess. So essentially, it's just a big circular track.
Yeah.
Whatever space you land on, you complete that task. And there's several things like pick a fate card, get a time card. There's black holes, which you love the black hole, don't you?
Yeah, I spend most of my time in black hole.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's kind of like an oubliette from Labyrinth. It's like you are screwed if you. There's a place you put people to forget about them.
Because you in front of you have a key safe, I suppose, a place where you get to hang your keys on. They'll actually have a number on it.
Because you want to keep it secret, like what colour keys you've actually got. So it's kind of like a bit of plastic where you hang your keys in, which disguises the colour from your opponents.
Yeah. But on the front of this, little thing, we'll have a number, and when you get stuck in a black hole, you have to roll your number to get out.
Yep.
Which is really frustrating.
Well, it's still a 1 in 6 chance, but
it's 1 in 6 chance. Which
you pretty much failed every single time.
Yeah.
And I kept getting cards, which allowed me to, if I got put in a black hole, put someone else in instead. So I always put you in. So we set up to play. It was me, you, and my wife Shab. So I don't think she'd played the game before, but she absolutely loved it. So she was playing as Elizabeth Bathory, the vampire. I was Cthulhu, the mummy, and you were the werewolf, Gul'dan, blue.
Yeah.
So we kicked it off, and what's quite cool is just the interaction between the actual gatekeeper, the guys doing the acting, and you as players.
Yeah. But there's also another mechanic when we've not spoken about it yet, which is called the Chosen One, where the gatekeeper has a chosen one. So one amongst you is sort of his pet or his spy amongst you, I suppose.
His voice is brilliant.
So what you do at the start of the game is everyone rolls dice. Whoever gets highest, they are the chosen one. And there's certain
which
points,
was my wife in this case.
So there's certain points in the game where he will call upon the chosen one to complete a task.
Yep.
That was just quite fun as well, actually.
She had to do all sorts of things, but whenever the guy comes up, you have, and he says like, "Whose turn is it next?" And you're like, "It's me." You have to say, "Yes, my gatekeeper." You have to say it every time. If you fail to do that, then you get banished to the black hole and shit like that. And because Shab was the chosen one, it was up to her to make sure that everyone else followed the rules.
Yeah.
Which most of the time was actually not the case. And we were like joking around that she was cheating a bit. Because she'd got all of the keys within like 10 minutes.
Yeah, she seemed to go around the board and she had nearly all the keys at one point. Like, just on
Well, yeah,
on the
actually,
board.
because there's multiples of each key, but
Yeah.
she literally had like every single key.
Yeah.
And we were like, how are you like winning
get all the
already?
keys?
And then literally after we like literally said that, the gatekeeper come up and he was like, "Maggots, whose turn is it next?" and it was Shab, and she was like, "It's me, your gatekeeper, the chosen one." And she's like, "Yeah." It was brilliant. And she had to do something. Yeah, so she had to duel with someone, and she picked you.
Yeah.
And what happened is when a duel, it's just a roll off, and then whoever wins gets a key.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing as well. So you get to choose a key, but obviously because the keys are in your little key safe, you can only see the end of the key. You can't see.
You don't know what colour it is.
So you have to choose one at random and hope that it's a colour that you want.
Yeah, but there's also a black key.
Yeah. So on the board, there's a certain space. If you pick up this key, you get the black key, and the black key
is cursed.
Yeah, and you can't win the game if you've got a black key.
Yeah, and after this had happened, she'd ended up with the black key. So even though she had every other key, she couldn't actually win because she had the black key. Mm-hmm. So at that point, she was then trying to get rid of it for ages.
Which didn't happen until right near the end of the game, where they completely flipped everything on its head. There's a couple of things that happen at the end of the game which completely changes the way that.
Well, it kind of ramps up over time.
Yeah.
That's what's quite good about the timer and the actual video aspect of it itself, because the tension gets really quite high.
Yeah.
Because it ramps up the volume. I noticed the volume went up quite a lot.
Yeah,
It gets louder and louder and louder towards the end. The gatekeeper shows up more and more often, just shouting at you, literally shouting abuse at you. He's
and
like, "You pathetic maggots!"
Also, he changed out the rules. Like he'll just randomly throw a load of people in the black hole, or he'll just go, "Hey, you guys can."
Which was always you.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like you. You were banished to the black hole. Every time.
But because right near so for a long time we were playing. Shab was getting all the keys. Me and Dan were getting nothing.
No, I literally had nothing for so long.
I was just hanging out in the black hole. Dan was just rolling. Just every time we come up to a key, he'd just walk right past.
The thing was, right, every time I was rolling, I'd go, right, if I roll one dice, can I get to a key? Or, is it too far away? Maybe I'll roll two dice. And every time I rolled, I literally landed on a blank space. Yeah. So I wasn't gaining anything. And then most of the time, I'd roll one more than the key space, so I'd pass it as well. And then you'd have to go around the entire board again to get to the one that you needed. I mean, at this point, I had bugger all, so I just couldn't land on any space.
Just want to get a key.
I was like, just give me a freaking key. I just want one key.
Also, like when you land on a dual space, you haven't got any key. It's like, I could really want to duel you, but I can't because I ain't got any keys.
Yeah.
Because you can only duel someone if you've got a key to give up yourself.
Yeah, which I didn't have, so that was useless. I couldn't even duel anyone. So for most of the game, I had nothing. Shab had everything, and you had some of the keys. But it got later on. She'd lost one of the actual keys that she needed. I think it was an orange key or something. So she was like, she'd already gone into the middle. Mm-hmm. She was almost to that point of winning.
Yeah, and
she lost the orange key through some shenanigans that the gatekeeper pulled.
Yeah.
So she was then started to go back around the edge again. Mm-hmm. And that was when it got to about 15 minutes left, I think. Yeah. So that the music was getting more intense. There was like sound effects going off. He was showing up all the time.
So to
give
you an idea,
you're frantically trying to roll dice.
Shab has got nearly all the keys bar one key. I've got the dreaded black key and quite a few of the other keys. Dan has got no keys.
I think I had one or two at that point. Maybe three.
And this is where it completely ramped up. So Gatekeeper came on and he said, "Chosen one. You get to choose one person to duel with." And
but it's a mega duel.
Yes. So for this, normally when you duel, you basically get to choose one key. But this one was a case of
you swap.
Winner takes all.
Yeah, you take all of the keys.
So I actually got to choose this one. I was like, right, I'm going to do Shab because if I win, I get all her keys.
Yeah.
But if she wins, she gets all mine.
But she'd be in the same position.
Yeah, so she would actually have the black key, but...
that's true. She would have got the black key.
She would have got my black key. So she's like, even though she had all the keys, she had my black key. So she's like, kind of like...
You can't win.
Yeah.
But you won the duel.
Yep.
And took all of her keys. So you had everything at that point. You just needed to get rid of the black key somehow.
Yeah. Somehow get rid of the black key.
Which did happen.
No, I didn't. I kept that black key till the end.
Did you?
Yeah, I kept that black key thing.
So you, at that point, you just had a shit ton of keys, including the black key.
And then a couple of turns after that, the gatekeeper came back on, and he was like, "All right, whoever rolls their number first gets to get all the keys they didn't have."
Oh yeah,
and this
is what happened to me.
Yeah. And this is where Dan then rolls his 1, and he gets all
I
the
was
keys
number 1.
Needs, yeah,
I was like, please God, I had nothing. I had 1 or 2. That was it. I rolled the 1 straight away. Yeah. Because you two, I think you were still just faffing about at that point. I was like, right, I'm just going to click roll. And I got a 1.
Yep.
And I was like, sweet. I could collect up the keys that I needed. So I had all of them at that point.
Yep.
So I was like, now it's get to the middle, try and get to the Well of Souls before anyone else does.
Yeah. And the time is really cracking down. I mean,
it was so tense at this point.
It's got down to like, 3 minutes at this point?
Yeah, at least that. And I had some good... I'd collected like a ton of time cards, which were all like 3 minutes 40, 3 minutes 50, 3 minutes whatever. And they... all one at a time came up, and it allowed me to get another key, steal keys, and move stuff around, move my guy to a different space, which really, really helped.
Yeah.
It set me up to get to the middle.
Yep. And so there's you now pacing it towards the middle.
Yeah.
Me and Shab, me trying to get to any dual space whatsoever, and hope and pray someone takes a black key off me so I can...
At this point, my wife had given up.
Yeah,
she'd lost everything. She's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get around this board and get all 6 keys before anyone else gets to the middle. And I just legged it in, rushed into the middle, and it's the chosen one's responsibility to open the Well of Souls, pull out one of the fears, and then if it's mine, I'd win the game.
Yep.
Which obviously in this case with 3 players is a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
So she pulled out mine, worst fear, which was parasitic aliens. I think I've watched too many sci-fi movies, but just the thought of like some sort of alien under your skin or like crawling within you, just gives me chills. Just disgusting just to think of it. Yeah. Maybe I watched The Thing too many times. I don't know, but yeah, Jesus, horrible. I know what Shad put in. She hates snakes.
Snakes?
Absolutely petrified of snakes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we took her to Fritton Park once, like a zoo, and they had like a massive snake in there. And yeah, me and my brother like pulled her into it. It's cruel now I think about it. But it was so big. It's like you've got to see the snake. It's huge. But yeah, I'd won the game at this point.
Yeah.
Literally with like 15 seconds left.
So this is where like we had another element of the game come in, which probably wasn't actually really intended. Where basically we didn't have the remote control for the DVD player. We have a controller for the TV, which happens to work the DVD player.
Yeah, it just meant that I couldn't select the right button to stop it.
So we had 30 seconds to figure out what button do we press on this remote control.
I was like, quick, shit, no. It said press the menu or the title button. I'm like, which button is it? Which I didn't manage to find.
We can figure out. So we didn't actually really... Well, we won, but not
what
really.
do you mean we won?
Well, I think it's a joint effort.
You didn't win.
I took out Chab, which then gave you the victory. If you think about it...
That's my victory.
I gave you a helping hand.
I won.
Together we won.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like, it brought back so much memories for me. Like, I remember playing this when I was like 12, 13, in the dark with candles. And I remember like trying to impress my mates with it at the time. Like, it was really cool. Like, no one really had a board game, video enhanced board game at that point.
There are quite a few out there though, aren't there? Like I said,
well, there are now, but yeah, I'd really like to try and find that old Star Wars one, just so I can laugh at how crap Vader's voice was in it. But why is he? Like, I can't remember what the game was, but whether you were like Imperial officers on the Death Star or something,
right.
And he's like just ordering you around or something. I don't know, but it might be worth looking out for it.
If you add in more players, that would add in like so much change and flux to the game as well.
To this game, to Atmosfear, yeah. It would make it more difficult because it is a roll and move game at the end of the day, so it would take a lot longer to play, but you'd have to be speedy when you got down to it.
But
there'd be a lot more cards floating around, a lot more time things, a lot more fate things going off and stuff, which I think would make it a little bit more exciting.
The only downside is you'd spend more time on black holes.
Well, you love black holes.
Not really.
You do, you love it.
Black holes and blank spaces. All about that.
I just love putting you in the black hole. It's always fun for me. So that was haven't played it in ages. Awesome game. Right, I would definitely suggest if you're doing a Halloween board game night, then this is a perfect one to get out. It's 6 players tops. takes under an hour, and is great fun to play with your mates and just have a laugh with.
Yeah, definitely. I very much like this game. Very much.
We'll probably come back to it at another point. So just to wrap up the end of the show, then we've actually got something quite cool coming up, in the fact that me and Brent here are actually going to be hosting our own zombie-themed Halloween party.
Yeah.
So it's going to be loads of fun.
Yeah, so the idea is play a couple of zombie-themed games.
Yeah, zombie dress up. We're all going to dress up as zombies or zombie survivors, play loads of zombie-themed board games. We're going to have zombie-themed food and drink. Yep. I've got some crazy ideas for the food, which involve sausage intestines and barbecue ribs, but as human rib cages and stuff like that. And I found a brain jelly mold. Right. So I'm going to make some cool stuff.
That sounds pretty sweet.
So yeah, there's going to be lots of fun and hilarity for our Halloween theme party.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is come back to it next time. Hopefully, tell you how it went, what sort of games we played, and how much of a laugh it was. I hope.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And we play a lot of different sort of zombie-themed Halloween games, and not actually the ones that we talked about today. Actually,
yeah, we're going to play all sorts. So should be an absolute blast. Can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Yeah,
it's going to be good fun. So sadly, that brings us to the end of the show.
Boom, boom, boom.
Worst jingle ever. Right, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next time with more board game ramblings.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook, so check out the site. It's www.facebook.com/The Bearded Gamers Podcast.
We also have Twitter, so just find us on there. Little updates we'll be releasing.
Yeah, and if you want to see pictures of all the games that we've played and stuff like that as well, then hit us up on the Instagram site as well, which is just the bearded _
gamers.
The gamers _ podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you, like we said before, if you got any questions or anything in game